What is up, Modified 95 family? Back in the library of Honda greatness. I kind of like the Hall of Justice too. I'm still really trying to nail the name for what HQ is going to be. Behind me, Zeronius had started finishing up the B16 project. I just wanted to button up the bottom end. So that means weighing out the piston and rod combos because they're already connected, making sure they're all matching and balanced, getting the rod bearings in, and then getting the pistons into the cylinders. I'm always trying to think of the right words. My brain moves substantially faster than it gets to my mouth, and I'm really trying to get rid of that verbal tick where I just say repeatedly because I hate hearing it, and I can only imagine that you guys don't want to sit through that, and I'm not trying to make you. So we're trying to get all those things together, and then ideally we get the whole bottom end buttoned up because the oil pan is ready, new oil pan gasket. We have the oil pump plus the gaskets for that, and the windage tray. So let's see if we can get to all that. So you know what to do. You give me 5 on my black hand side, and let's go. Here we go. Cylinders 1 and 4 are in. 2 and 3 are coming next. We didn't have that cool Wiseco cuff that we had before because I couldn't find one that was oversized by 0.75. So we're doing it the old school way where we just sit them in place and then you push in each ring as need be, give it a little tap till they all are in. And I guess that's not the appropriate way to do it, but it should work just fine. All the gaps were measured and it's going good so far.
They're hand tight.
So right now the bottom of the pistons, the piece that connects to the rod, is hand tight, but we have not torqued those down. I think they only go to 30 foot-pounds, unlike the aftermarket ones that go to about 45 foot-pounds of torque. And we have it oiled up with assembly lube and a little WD-40 just for the smell. And we are cranking it around just to make sure everything is moving fluidly and there's no hang up, so it's looking pretty good. So we should be able to then flip it over, get those torqued, as well as putting on the windage tray, oil pickup, oil pan gasket, and oil pan. I just like to high tint black them. Just, it makes it easier to see when there's leaks because that shows oil really well. And this one was rusted, so I gave it a good sand before I coated it with a little paint. So we're almost to our conclusion point and things are moving very smoothly. So I'm very happy about that. Moving on. So here we have the oil pickup. It goes on after the windage tray, which only goes on one way. I cleaned up both of these, making sure there was no metal in this. I don't believe that there was any problem with the motor previous to me having it. And so I was looking for metal, but there wasn't, like when I spun a bearing in the GSR over there. This has a paper gasket. With paper gaskets, they do not get any kind of sealant or silicone RTV. And this will go on with 2 nuts. And this is not the right one. So we will be back with the right one. I think this is a GSR one because these have a different spacing and this one looks to be substantially wider. But there should be more or we're at a stopping point. Be right back. I feel like it was probably video worthy. We did find the new one because here is the old one. The GSR has a little bit different of a setup because that's usually the 2 things we would have. But you see how much longer this is on the B16. So I'm going to get that in. We heated this up to a high temperature to clear out all the crap that was in there. Now there's just a little bit of remnants of, I think, just ash basically. But 2 nuts, 2 bolts, and then we should be good to put the oil pan on. We're just working very carefully because it is extremely hot. Yeah, I was just at an impasse. Do I show him burning that out there because it's cool to see? But it does take a few minutes. But should I put it on time lapse? I decided not to, but just imagine lots of fire. Very neat. As you can see, we're cleaning bolts before they go in to hold the oil pan and the oil pan gasket, which is in my hands. I feel bad because I made a big stink with the company because I ordered a Felpro gasket and they sent me some generic and it really pissed me off. But what I was basing it on was the fact that there was no metal strip in here. And then I look at mine and realize there's no metal strip in this one. That's the one I usually get, and that's what's in here. We're actually just reusing it because it was not leaking. So after we found the bolts, of course, in the library, this will go right on here, and this will get all buttoned up. I think we'll put a little thin layer of RTV all the way around here. We have the 5 nuts and the 14 different bolts, and this bottom end is all together. I'm very happy that now both the motors, the B16 stock build and the GSR Type R type build, are both at the same point. This one will go a lot faster. Next time we have time to work on it, we will have the head on and have that together, whereas the head that's hiding down there still needs to be ported and polished so that this will give me all the performance gains I'm looking for. So once we put RTV on both sides of the gasket, as well as this, we'll do a pressure flip, just like we're doing skateboarding. Should I go the other way? Yeah. That's all right. We gonna flip around. Just where the oil pickup was made me believe that that was in the wrong spot, and we are off just a little bit right there. We will gently massage this around, get this in place, and it should drop right in. We're making it. The other ones go right on. Yeah, the other ones do work a lot better. Don't you want to go home? It's good to watch people suffer, because then you realize that you're not the only one that has that problem. It's everybody. No, that ain't right. Oh, hold up. Wait a minute. Oh, there it is. Because that's what we wanted, RTV all over our hands. And you know how nuts and bolts work, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So that will definitely not be included in said footage. So this is a good stopping point for now. Only difference with this is we don't have the little gear that goes on back here or the tensioner on. Those are all prerequisites. This one we have a timing belt cover for, so when we do have a chance to get those things on, we can get the head on no problem. This was a pain. So if you're getting the Feldpro gasket, this is the right one. I got this off eBay, and I thought Feldpro was made in America, but this one apparently was not. And I buy tons of stuff from China, but I try to stick to non-important things like spark plug covers and all the essential stuff I try to get either from Japan or from American companies, because I know the quality is really hard. So it's this number, and I think it's TR or RS is the other part that goes after this main number, and that will give you one of the ones that has the metal strip in it, and that makes it so much easier. We had this oil pan gasket on, then we had to almost take the oil pan back off because we missed one of the studs, and we had to take it off, and then we realized that one of the holes wasn't centered. We were in one of the outside holes, so we moved it over, but it seems to be flush, and it seems to be holding, so we lightly tightened it down. And that, so like I said, that's where we're leaving you guys. Thank you for sticking with us. I was glad that we were able to get that much work done and get this to a good resting place, and this spins beautifully. So even though this isn't really projected to go in a car anytime soon, it's just nice because it's clearing off a lot of the piles of stuff so nothing gets lost, and it'll just really ease my mind. All right, until we see you next time. Later, family.